How do you not count 179,855 ballots? They call those votes spoiled. How do votes spoil? Do you leave them out of the fridge? No. It's a much more sophisticated system. I discovered this. Here in white Tallahassee, voters who made a mistake got their ballots back. In Gadsden, Florida, the blackest county, voters who made a mistake had their ballots voided and never knew it. In Jacksonville, bad punch card readers failed to count 27,000 votes, almost all of them in black precincts, and Bush sued and prevented their being counted by hand. You know, it's 2004, October. BBC's already busted the felon list, but it looks like there's another trick that the Republican Party has discovered.
I'm happy, I'm excited, and I'm ready to vote.
Willie Steen's on his way to vote, he hopes. In the last election, he was one of thousands of black citizens stopped from voting when they were falsely tagged as criminals.
He went in a place to vote, and I was with my son, and it's about 40, 50 other people around, and I got up there to vote, and they told me that I was a convicted felony. I told the young lady that I'd never been arrested before.
Enthusiastic Americans like Willie can now vote early in the weeks before Election Day. Willie sued Governor Jeb Bush after Jeb's officials were caught playing games with the voter lists, dropping legal voters, especially black ones, who overwhelmingly vote for Democrats.
Hey, how you doing? Yes, we are.
This is as far as Willie got last time.
Sir, did you used to live at Valley Tree?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Will he be blocked yet again? We leave Willie in Tampa to go just past Disney World to Faith World. Here in Orlando, the faithful who believe they were cheated last time pray it won't happen again. In the last election, 1 million black votes were not counted.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson. You don't have to vote the way I vote. I shouldn't steal your vote. And in the name of democracy, the winner shouldn't lose, the loser shouldn't win.
Jackson fears that the Republicans have some new plan to block the black vote, not just the fake felon scam used last time on Willie Steen.
There are more Mr. Steens out there. And now you have a case of this as a guy who just may be a kind of biopsy, a kind of political biopsy of a cancer that is much more widespread than just one example. You can't forget the stealing of your birthright. You can't forget disenfranchisement of your vote.
100 miles away, in the riverside town of Jacksonville, we may have found the evidence of the plan Jesse Jackson fears, something called a caging list, which could capture black voters. This is a list of nearly 2,000 voters in the black neighborhoods of Jacksonville who appear to have errors in their mailing addresses. The list was specially prepared for George Bush's campaign.
There is no doubt in my mind that with your help, we'll carry Florida again and win a great victory on November the 2nd.
Every one of these has to be hand-entered.
We asked Ion Sancho why the Republicans might put together such a list. Sancho is a Democrat, but he's also one of the most respected and experienced of Florida's county elections supervisors.
The only thing that I can think of African-American voters listed like this, these might be potential individuals that will be challenged if they attempt to vote on Election Day.
American states allow political parties to place their people right inside the polling station, like this one in Jacksonville. They can point to a voter and challenge their right to vote. Voters will be turned away with provisional ballots, which are usually just thrown out. Political parties rarely use challenges because they can bring voting to a halt.
In Leon County, for example, we have not had one challenge voter in the 16 years that I've been the supervisor of elections. Because again, if you challenge voters, you really must do so with concrete, hard evidence, not your opinion. And this process can be used to slow down the voting process, to cause chaos on election day, and quite frankly, to discourage voters from voting.
Do the Republicans have a plan to launch thousands of challenges on November 2nd and bring voting in Florida's black Democratic precincts to a standstill?
This is the caging list, and this is where it was sent to the office of Brett Doster. He's the executive director of the George W. Bush for President campaign in Florida. Let's ask his team about it.
I asked Republican spokeswoman Mindy Tucker Fletcher if they had a strategy to challenge these black voters on Election Day.
I can't tell you right now. I'm not part of that strategy, but
Okay.
this was not done in order to create a challenge list, as I think we're trying to get to.
But they accuse Democrats of registering voters illegally, so Republicans must counterattack.
So you're saying your poll workers will be instructed to challenge people to say they should have a provisional ballot?
Where it's stated in the law, yeah.
Are you worried that that'll gum up the voting procedures for
By
legal voters?
enforcing the laws?
Well, that's a good question.
I imagine even the people in line would want the laws applied.
The law appears to be applied in a curious way in Florida. Across the road from the Jacksonville voting station, I spied someone hiding away a camera in a black SUV with blacked out windows. He was disguised in a tourist uniform, complete with shorts, baseball cap, and open-toed sandals. He'd been filming every voter. I thought I'd say hello.
This isn't just a hobby. You're just not doing it as volunteer.
No,
Okay, I did. Okay.
no.
So-
I'm an investigator. It's just month.
So, are you a licensed investigator, or so a professional agency? Then it's not. You're not like some free, just some guy who decided he's
freelance,
gonna do something because.
He remembered that his name was Doug, but he couldn't remember who he was working for. The local congresswoman had a suggestion.
The Republicans, once again, are trying to intimidate African American voters. This car have been here since the 18th in front of the supervisor's office all day, and they have been filming.
Back in Tallahassee, another election scam surfaced which could sabotage thousands of voter registrations. It targeted students with liberal views. Elections supervisor Ion Sancho discovered the scam struck close to home.
This, for example, is a copy of my stepdaughter's voter registration from Orlando. And it is clear that her own handwriting filled in blocks 2 through 15. Apparently, a petition form was placed over the top of a voter registration form. It purported to tell the citizen they were signing a petition to legalize medical marijuana. The citizen filled it in thinking that's what they were doing, and then after the voter had left, the individual fraudulently filled out lines 1, the party change, making them a Republican now, and then fraudulently signed it, and then turned the application over to the election administrator. This form changed the voter's registration from Tallahassee to Orlando. And if this voter had not known me and turned this information over to me, she may have been disenfranchised when she attempted to vote.
Is it a crime to misregister someone in that way?
It is a third-degree felony to do this. It is an illegal act.
And the Republicans now admit it was their operatives who collected these thousands of suspect registrations, though the party denies it committed fraud. Civil rights experts in Washington fear the threat to a free and fair election is severe and unprecedented. Ralph Nees is commander-in-chief of an army of 6,000 lawyers who will take up battle stations on Election Day to protect voters from dirty tricks.
This is the nerve center.
Right.
There'll be 56 of our field offices in the 17 states, and then there'll be 38 legal command centers where the majority of the lawyers will be. And there'll be a law student or lawyer at every precinct. But if there are real problems, we've got mobile traveling vans of lawyers who will go to the probable precinct to make a decision.
They'll keep their eyes open for mass challenges by poll watchers paid for by the Republican Party. It may be disruptive, but it's perfectly legal to challenge voters.